Hello there, and welcome to the 5th edition of Diamond Talk. Here alongside, the
man, Eric Ostrowski.
And we got a new guy here.
Newbie.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Unfortunately, my name is Walker Cooper. They call me the Pooper
We call
Scooper.
him Yeehaw Coop, Cooper, Pooper, Scooper.
Brought the boots and everything out tonight. Ready to debate, guys.
That's okay. You guys don't know, huge Yankees fan, one of the biggest Yankees fans I've ever met.
I might scream at him, but that's okay.
Yeah, but since you're here, Coop, let's talk about your team, the Yankees, because they're one of the more interesting teams in the league today, especially, they're in an interesting position with not only juggling a manager situation and also free agents. A lot of free agents, a lot of trade talks surrounding this team. Young, ultra-talented, and really hungry for a championship.
I hope so.
Yep.
To be honest with you, I'm glad you put me on the hot seat my first time on the show. I really appreciate that, Jeep. To be honest with you, with the manager position, just to kind of start it off, I think we're in a really bad spot. We put ourselves there. And I don't quite understand Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner and what their reasoning is to fire Joe Girardi. I guess I know 27 World Series, and that's always the goal in New York, but I don't quite understand Girardi being out. There has to be something behind the scenes that I just don't quite understand.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, there's something that had to go on besides what went on the field. I definitely agree with that. But some pretty big news coming from the Yankees. Carlos Beltran is said to be receiving a formal interview, and that happened today, apparently. What do you think of that, and who do you want to take the helm of this club?
At this moment, and I don't know how Eric and you feel, I'm not into Carlos Beltran at this moment.
That's how I feel.
I think he's really young and inexperienced.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
he
a
just
great.
got done playing.
Yeah,
he will be a great coach one day, I think. But I don't.
He'd be a great hitting coach. Right now, he'd be a great hitting coach.
I've heard nothing but great things about his leadership within the clubhouse and how he handles himself day in and day out. But I don't know, a young guy that just got done. I mean, he's 40 years old. He just got done playing. I don't know if this is a good spot for him to take over. Good option maybe in the future, but right now he's not a good fit.
Yeah, he's fresh out.
But
so I don't.
But here's the argument you can make. He's played under great managers. Like here, let me just name a couple: Tony Pena, Willie Randolph, Jerry Manuel, Terry Collins, Bruce Bochy, Mike Matheny, Joe Girardi, Jeff Bannister, and A.J. Hinch.
Yeah, but he
more
hasn't
recently.
been there, though.
But
That's
he's been almost like a coach to these younger players. I mean, you see it all around. You see Correa posting. He was almost like a role model to him when he was there. I mean, out of anyone that's on that list, he might be the guy.
You're talking Eric Wedge, loser. I'm sorry.
No,
Eric Wedge
you're
was
right.
not good in Cleveland.
No, you're right.
He was not good in Seattle. He's a loser. I don't understand him being on the list. Aaron Boone, I'm really confused about Aaron Boone. I don't know his coaching. I mean, the only thing I know about Aaron Boone is he's on ESPN and he hit a home run that we all.
But that's all he did.
But right, he wasn't fantastic. I mean, he might be as baseball smart as anyone, but I don't quite understand him being on the list as well.
Yeah, I don't get that either, but he's the most interesting guy on the list because he has been in that clubhouse most recently out of anyone on that list. He knows what the chemistry is like in there, and I think he's a guy he can step in, and he won't disrupt that chemistry because he's been there.
I think you're right.
Maybe. Out of the guys on the list, I'm saying.
I think the guy that should be on the list that hasn't been talked about at this moment is Tony Pena, our first base coach.
Yeah.
He coached Team Puerto Rico, did a great job with a bunch of all-stars handling that. And I know it's just a tournament, but he's somebody that's been in the clubhouse for a couple years now, understands the dynamic, understands these young kids, will know how to put this team and continue it on the way Girardi had it going. Because if Hal Steinbrenner wants to pick a conflict with, how management was running it, he's going to have somebody that understands these players step in. It can't be a whole new experience. We can't experiment at this point with this team.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. We'll talk more about the Yankees later with a couple of potential trade talks, free agents, and whatnot.
That's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, my last thought on it, I like that move, Tony Pena, but I'd have Beltran in the dugout somehow, some position.
An assistant coach or a bench coach.
Yeah, bench coach. Something.
Just
to get, because he can be a great option.
He's one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. He's in that conversation. I'm not saying he's the best. Obviously, Mickey Mantle's the best, but he's in the conversation, especially in the postseason. He's been unbelievable his whole career in the postseason.
And just to close on this, the guy that New York really needed, and I think I told you this when we were playing you guys in the DS, when we played the Indians in the DS, Mickey Callaway is a guy that I would have loved to see in New York. Really baseball smart, and we have kind of a weird grouping of pitchers right now that I'd really like to see him handle. But he's across town now, and he's got better pitchers.
Yeah, that's true. But also a couple guys that I thought you missed the boat on was La Russa. He's a great veteran manager, knows what he's doing in Gardenhire.
I don't like Gardenhire, but La Russa I believe in.
Yeah, I mean, either
La
one
Russa,
they have.
I don't think he'd come back.
I think he's done. I think him and Torrey are both ready to enjoy golf.
Yeah, I think they're done.
Who?
Joe Torre and La Russa.
La Russa's assistant with the Red Sox.
He is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that position, he doesn't have to coach every day.
No,
and make the road
that's true.
trip.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
true.
that's
But
right.
they should have at least pursued him. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't come out and say that. But still.
Like you said, like they're talking about right now, and I hate to switch sports, but the University of Tennessee, everybody keeps saying Peyton Manning would make a great head coach. And as much as that is true, Peyton Manning's enjoying doing direct TV commercials.
Yeah,
He's killing it on Nationwide. I mean, I don't know why you want to step out of retirement to come coach a losing football team.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's move it over to the Yankees' acquisitions, or possible acquisitions, I should say. Who do you think they need to sign or to trade for to take that next step to their 28th title?
I'm going to let Coop take this one.
Yeah,
we'll
throw in our 2 cents
I
here.
agreed with his moves, though, that he told me earlier. Some of them.
So here's my thing, and we're going to talk about this later about the free agent market and why it's kind of stalling. It's been kind of quiet. But to be honest, I think if we don't go get Ohtani, if we don't get this Japanese superstar, we have to make the push for Arrieta for the right price. If we don't get Arrieta for the right price, I believe bringing Sabathia, because he needs to come back. That's done. That he needs to bring him back. And this would make, just alone with Sabathia, this would be our rotation. Sonny Gray would be in that rotation. Severino, Sabathia, Tanaka, and Jordan Montgomery, who proved himself last year as a comparable 5. But I'm okay with moving him to the bullpen if that means we take on Jake Arrieta. I'm perfectly okay with that. Because not all those guys will stay healthy.
He'd be great in a long relief role, I think. Middle relief.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had Arrieta as well. He's a marquee guy. I think the Yankees, if they want a chance to win the World Series, not just make the World Series, but to win, he's a guy that the Yankees need.
Yeah, he showed he's clutch in the postseason.
Absolutely. Another guy who I was thinking wasn't originally on my list was maybe you go out and get a contact bat like D. Gordon. Maybe. I'm thinking about him because he brings speed to the table, something that the Yankees, they have, but they haven't used a lot. He's a proven base stealer. I think he stole upwards of 50 bases this year, and he can hit. And he's great defensively.
And that's kind of an interesting move, but at the same time, I could see him, Ronald Torreyes last year did a great job coming in for us when we needed him. We still have Chase Headley. We're kind of looking at the Todd Frazier thing. I don't know what they're going to do with Frazier. I know they want to get Gleyber Torres, the guy we got for Aroldis Chapman when the Cubs won the World Series. So I don't know what we're going to do with that, but you have some young talent that is still trapped in the minor leagues that could prove itself to be worthy. Clint Frazier and a Gleyber Torres. So I don't know how the Yankees want to play this. I think Todd Frazier would be great to bring back, but there's a price that goes with that because the end goal is Bryce Harper's leaving in 2018. He's not going to be a national.
Yep.
In my head, it's done now ahead of time. So, and I could see that outfield with Aaron Hicks in center, Aaron Judge in right, and Bryce Harper in left. And that would be a dirty combination. So to not save cap space for Bryce Harper, to me right now, does not make sense.
I think there's 2 spots Harper could end up. L.A. with the Dodgers or the Yankees. Maybe the Red Sox. But that's about all. A big market, they'll give him the money.
Well, here's my opinion on Bryce Harper in 2018, which I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but he wants to go play with Chris Bryant. They were Little League teammates. Played travel ball together. There's been reports that Harper's going to take less money to go with the Cubs because they are clearing a lot of cap space. Because honestly, it doesn't look like Arrieta's coming back.
No,
I mean that's
I doubt
just
he is.
Me too. I could see them taking cuts. I mean, come on, let's face it. Bryce Harper makes enough money.
Yeah.
he wants to win. He's a winner.
I don't know, when you got your agent in your ear, though, like, hey.
That's true, but he's
LA,
Bryce Harper. Bryce
450
Harper wants to
million.
win baseball games.
Yeah.
He's done everything else at, 25?
Yeah.
He's done everything else. He wants to win baseball games, and he wants a World Series ring. So maybe that happens, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, but
because
you
this
could
is a
win
year.
with the Dodgers or Yankees, too.
That's true.
So
But it'll be interesting because I do think he wants to go play with Chris Bryant.
maybe Chris Bryant moves. At some
Maybe.
point. You see, I don't know.
maybe.
It's all kind of up in the air. But,
Yeah.
and like you said, we're talking a year out. But even now, we know Bryce Harper is going to
Yeah.
hit the road.
Yeah.
So everybody's preparing, just like everybody was preparing after last offseason to come after Ohtani.
Yep.
The Twins have cleared so much space that they might be in the competition for this.
Boy, would that'd be huge for them.
And that's unreal to think that the
Yeah.
Twins, who are such a small market team, could be dragging in a big superstar, much
Yeah.
like the Reds did with Aroldis Chapman, and that didn't pay dividends.
Yeah.
But
I've even heard rumors with Ohtani being linked to the Pirates. I heard that, and I scratched my head for a second. But then again, they had success signing Jung Ho Kang, and he's a really good player when he's not in jail over in Korea. But that's another story for
that's-
another day. But they've had success in the past. Wouldn't be surprised if he did go there. Honestly, I mean, if they got him, that'd be huge for not only their struggling offensive production, but really good for that either rotation or bullpen. He fits anywhere. But let's move on to Giancarlo Stanton. And we keep talking about him. Like I said, another story for another day with him.
Yeah.
Why he's leaving, but let's just not talk about that. But reports say that Stanton's top destination that he wants to go to is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And that makes sense.
It makes sense, but what would you make of this? This would be unbelievable.
Well, it would honestly. I saw like a stat. It would actually benefit him playing in that stadium. It add
Yep.
about 5 home runs to him, which is insane to think. So he'd be in the 60s, probably
Mm-hmm.
no problem with how he's been hitting. Yeah, that'd be unreal. Their offense is already amazing. I mean, that puts them right where they were back
Honestly.
at the top. I don't know though.
I don't
That's
know if
such
they
a
want to.
big move. What would they give up though?
Here's what I was thinking. And Coop, you and I have talked about this. We talked about this
we
pretty
talked about this pretty
extensively.
extensively today.
All right, who's the guy that they need to give up? He was a prospect, and then I'll name the other one because we agreed on this.
Because I think they need Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler was in the same SEC class as Carson Fulmer, who's for the White Sox, Dansby Swanson, his
Yeah.
teammate at Vanderbilt, Alex Bregman, and Andrew Benintendi. And he had 4 strikeouts in his 8 at-bats that Walker Buehler pitched against Alex Bregman and Andrew Benintendi, who in 2 years walked into the league. I mean, this kid's a high-quality kid. And I think he could be, God bless Jose Fernandez, but I think he could step into that role
I think
in the
they
next
would
year.
need that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Huge.
yeah,
Absolutely.
they
And then I
need
heard-
pitching. They need pitching. They
They
don't
wanna-
have it. They need it.
They want to clear Stan's cap space and then bring in another like superstar for less money. That's some things that I heard.
Yeah,
I think pieces. I
Yeah,
don't
pieces.
think a superstar. I
What
think
I
he
mean
could
by
Quality-
sign
quality
player,
players that aren't
all-star,
expensive.
all-star, that's-
like a Luke Roy. I think you
Yeah.
could see them.
Yeah.
yeah.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see that being a big thing. I think they could even make a run at Hosmer.
Oh my gosh! But
I
they have
think- I
Justin
really-
Bohr though. They have Justin Bohr who had a great year this year.
Okay, to be frank with you,
Yeah.
I think Justin Bohr had a great year.
I'd rather have
Well,
I'd
he's
Hosmer.
rather
not.
have Hosmer.
Hosmer,
But then what do you do with Bohr? You ship him, right?
perfect, more pieces.
Yeah.
And then you get-
if
you
you're
get an
gonna go
arm.
to a true rebuild,
Yeah.
actually sit down and rebuild because
That's
Bohr's
true.
built to be a DH. He's the bat that Boston needs, and you can't tell me Boston doesn't have pieces.
Absolutely. And the thing about rebuilds is that let's face it, if you go halfway with a rebuild, it's never going to work.
No.
I mean, you see that, not to switch sports, the Cleveland Browns.
Oh God, yeah, they're the perfect example.
Perfect example. Halfway rebuilds never work. And I think the Dodgers, along with Bueller, they're going to have to give up one of the following. They're going to have to give up Kike Hernandez, Jock Peterson, or maybe even a Chris Taylor. And that's stretching it. But off the bat, if I'm Miami, I'm asking for Bueller because
Yeah.
they need pitching. They are hurting for pitching.
I don't know if Miami
Volquez
would
can't
take,
win it all for you.
No, but I don't know if Miami would take Peterson. I really think they're gonna want Chris Taylor.
I mean, if you look at that, that's a good trade.
That's a good trade.
That's a good
Yeah.
trade, and he's a very good player.
I want Jock Peterson over Chris Taylor.
What?
The statistics might tell me different, But
Okay,
that,
I get
that
where you're going
left-handed
with that.
bat,
That's
that
a good
left-handed
argument.
bat,
Yeah.
Saw
that's
what
a
he did in
good
the World
bat
Series.
to have in the left.
And they're
Not
kind
even
of
that.
similar. Lower average.
Yeah.
If Peterson really develops, a lot of home runs.
I
So
mean,
we'll
Don
see.
Mattingly is the coach.
He is the coach.
And he can develop Jock
Yes.
Peterson.
So
We'll see.
look
That
what they
would be
did with
very
Stanton.
interesting. Maybe they get both Kike and Peterson. You
That's
never know.
impossible. I think the Dodgers are realistic in that, and I think the Dodgers at that would walk away from the Marlins.
But you're getting 59 plus home runs probably.
now 59 home runs was great.
are they still giving up Bueller in that deal?
Yes.
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 The Marlins would
So-
walk away if they didn't hear Bueller. Because remember, LA is at the top of the list. There are spots that this man will go other than this. But the Marlins need this move.
What about
I think it's
Puig?
great.
Yeah.
What about Puig?
He's not even in the talk.
You don't think?
There
No.
no, not with Bueller. That's way too big of a deal.
That's
That's way too much to ask.
All right. Let's move on because we're definitely going to talk about this later on once he gets dealt. Jake Arrieta has drawn interest from the Yankees, the Brewers, the Blue Jays, the Rockies, and the Rangers. Where would he fit best and why? I'm gonna throw mine out just to have you guys think about this. You might find this surprising, but I went through this kind of logically. Jake Arrieta will not go to the AL East. He's been there. He's done that. Has not performed. I know it was early in his career. He's probably going to stay away from the AL East. I'm thinking that for a reason. He might want to go back, but I'd be surprised. I don't think he'll go to the Brewers because that is a division rival, and I just can't see him doing that. He reminds me of a guy, Eric, you and I talked about, an Eric Hosmer, attitude. Probably won't go to a division rival. That's why I think
For
Arrieta-
me, Arrieta, if the price is right, he will.
maybe. But
That's just what
Arrieta
it seems like to
might
me.
break the barrier for the Colorado Rockies to start getting pitching. That could very well be true. They have a decent amount of cap space, a lot of young guys,
Yeah.
not very big contracts. I mean, they cleared out a lot of space when they dealt Tulowitzki. That was big for them. I mean, maybe even the Rangers. We could be talking about that.
I was going to say the Rangers.
Maybe.
Honestly,
Coop, what do you think? Because you had some
Oh
very
my.
good points.
So here's my thing with Arrieta. Okay, it's all gonna come downhill when Ohtani signs. The two moves that are holding up this postseason, I know this is later on the docket, is Giancarlo
You didn't even
Stanton.
segue it.
I'm
You're just
sorry.
going right into it.
I know. I'm sorry, but it's on. We're gonna talk about it.
Yep.
It's frozen right now. The trade market and everything's frozen right now, and the reason is because, and the way I see it is Ohtani. If he signs with the Yankees are done. They don't need another pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
They can't take another project on. Their cap can't take it. They'll bury Montgomery doing it that way, and I don't think that's what Hal Steinbrenner wants to do. And I can't believe he is actually thinking with the right head. I think it all depends on what happens to Ohtani. If Ohtani does not sign with the Yankees and goes somewhere else for more money or whatever, I think Jake Arrieta is a New York Yankee. And I
Maybe.
understand what you say. He doesn't want to go back to the AL East, but he's going to a rotation where he doesn't have to be the dog.
That is true. That is very true.
He's coming into
Yeah,
a
they have
rotation.
Severino, Tanaka.
I still think Arrieta would be the one. I really do.
No.
If he goes
I
there,
really Severino.
I don't know, man.
No.
But that's a really good problem to have.
That
Yeah,
that,
it's
really
a great
is.
problem to have.
that rotation 1 through 5 will be one of the toughest in baseball. And Arrieta,
They already are in the AL.
oh yeah, and that bullpen is so solid.
Yeah.
You're not asking Jake Arrieta like you did with the Cubs, I think in my head, to go 7 strong.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking him to go 6, give up less than 3 runs, which is doable if you're a big league pitcher.
That is true.
And he could get 15 wins doing that, and he could improve his value, and he could leave and get a World Series ring. We don't know, but I think
if
he's
that
a Yankee.
happens, I really think he gets a World Series ring with the Yankees.
Me too.
Because that team's loaded.
I still think they need another bat though. The Yankees
No, yeah.
concerning them,
Where
they
do you
need
put
one
that
more.
bat?
That's a good point.
What position on the field do you put that bat? Because we
I'd say
can't
you-
sign another DH
I
because
say you-
Gary cannot catch for us all 162, and you're going to
You gotta-
DH him.
You got to get rid of either Ellsbury or Gardner. Ellsbury, hear me out. Brett Gardner, this is the perfect time to trade him. I know he's the heart and soul of that team, and that would kill them in the clubhouse. But Brett Gardner is coming off arguably, well, yes, his best year. Ellsbury stinks. I'm going to say that flat out.
Stinks for the
to
money.
me, I mean, that's
I still think he's not. He hasn't performed
That's
since
an
coming to
easy
New York,
move.
and that's putting it nicely.
an easy move for me.
Clint
Ellsbury's gone.
Frazier's one of my outfield spots next year.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. He has too much potential.
That's way too easy.
All right, let's move on to, you spoiled it.
Sorry.
why the hot stove is so cold. And I agree with you. Ohtani being dealt will serve as the domino effect. Will serve as that first domino. So yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, yeah, because you got all these teams opening up their room and seeing what happens just for two players, basically.
Yep.
And
Stan and Ohtani.
And the Rangers are in crisis mode. And that I know you didn't let me finish to tell you where
Go for it.
Arrieta's going to
Go
go.
for
But
it.
Arrieta's going to Texas.
Okay.
He's
That's
shipping
what
off.
yeah.
They're in a crisis down in Texas. They have Adrian Beltre at third, Elvis Andrus at shortstop. They have a decent lineup to where they just have to find somebody that doesn't give up 7 runs a game.
That's true. I mean, look, their roster isn't that much different than 2016.
Joey Gallo.
Exactly.
Joey Gallo doesn't hit
up some
high
numbers.
enough average, but he will put up a lot of bombs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rougned Odor is not a slouch at second base.
No.
He plays no defense, so that's the only thing that concerns me. But he hits.
Okay, yeah,
does
but in
hit.
the lineup, he's a cornerstone. Believe me, he's got some pop. Ask
Oh,
Jose
yeah.
Bautista.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
No,
Yeah.
you can't say that around Jeep. He's a little sensitive.
it's okay.
No, he got pop. Man.
Player,
Are you
players
kidding me?
fight. Ask Miguel Cabrera about Austin
Dude,
Romine.
the
They're
best
best friends
thing-
now.
The best thing about that fight was watching Kevin Pillar fight 3 Rangers. That was hilarious.
Dude, that's just
He doesn't
that was
care
great.
about his health, but
You could tell how he plays in the outfield.
yeah, he just runs into brick
Yeah,
walls and
I
at
don't know.
Wrigley and doesn't care.
I don't know what he's gonna do when he's done playing BMX. Something.
Pilar?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
That's a
going
crazy
into
dude.
WWE.
Most
He's
likely.
gonna
I
be
can
slamming
see that.
tables.
Yeah.
He's
Most
gonna be
likely.
he's probably a Bills fan. He probably jumps off things and into tables. That's his spare time.
No, he's actually a
hobby.
Raiders fan, believe it or not, because he's from out in the
No,
Bay
that makes
Area.
sense.
Bad boys. That makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
so he's like Marshawn Lynch running through a guy's
Oh,
face.
boy. All right. The White Sox, I know this is breaking news today. The White Sox are in very active talks with the Red Sox concerning Jose Abreu. If that would be something if they got Jose Abreu, which I think they will.
Probably.
That sounds like Hosmer just lost $20 million
Yep. But
flat out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Hosmer was going to go to the Red Sox. I really did. But dude, these talks could easily be erased, and like at the snap of a finger.
As much as I
Yeah,
hate the Red
mean,
Sox,
how
this is the
deep
right
are they?
move.
It could be just one
Absolutely,
phone
they
call,
need-
hey, we're interested.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
You never know.
I think that would be a very good signing for them. They've really wanted a first baseman like Jose Abreu who hits at a high level but also plays defense.
yeah.
The Hanley Ramirez experiment, in my mind, is over. He can't play the field anywhere anymore.
He's a good DH.
He's a good DH. He hits.
That's where you put him.
That's
at.
that's what he does. He
Yeah.
hits. He's one of the better DHs, I'd say, in the MLB.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? He was a former shortstop,
I know.
and now
I know.
He was a
you
good
can't play
shortstop.
defense.
He was
He was
until
great.
until he
Miami.
started doing steroids.
Great.
Because
Ugh.
didn't he get caught with roids?
He got.
I can't
it
remember.
I think he
wasn't
got
exactly
busted.
Roids.
It was
something.
that the thing that A-Rod did. That he got caught.
No.
it
Was it?
No,
It
no,
wasn't
no.
that serious.
Okay, either way, PEDs. He
It
did
was some
PEDs.
kind of protein stuff that
Either-
wasn't a protein.
Something
shake,
that Bud Selig said you cannot have.
Yeah. When you look
all
at the
that
list, it's
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
Yeah, but I do think Abreu would be a perfect fit.
You
Yeah.
fart wrong, and you might not pass an MLB drug test.
You
That's
might
how
not.
serious
That's
it is
true.
right now.
Yeah.
It's
And then another talk that came out today, which I know we haven't talked about, the Pirates and the Giants are in talks about Andrew McCutchen.
good.
Yeah, I
Perfect
mean,
for them. Hunter
yeah.
Pence, Denard Span, them. Actually, that's perfect for them. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, the Giants are gonna be the bounce back team next year.
Oh, for
Oh, I
sure.
Oh,
agree.
if they don't bounce back, I think they're gonna be more active than any Yankees, Red Sox, any Dodgers team has ever been this
That,
offseason.
that is an organization that hates losing and knows how to win.
Bruce Bochy is a
So,
winner.
Yeah.
So
They don't. Last year was pathetic to them, and they're trying to do everything they can to bounce back.
Yeah, they're even taking Bumgarner's
Yeah.
BMX bike away from them.
Yeah, I heard that.
I would too. I'd just sell it, burn it, do whatever you can, throw it off a cliff.
Just like
throw
with
it into
David
the ocean,
Bauer.
They-
throw it off of the
Yeah.
right field bleachers into the ocean.
They have Bumgarner on house arrest right now.
Probably.
He's not allowed to leave the house. Not even on
ankle
Fridays.
monitor and all.
That's what the
Um,
Browns should have done with Johnny Manziel. Might have worked
That
out.
would've been smart.
I really want the Giants to sign Moustakas. I think that'd be a really good signing for them
Yeah,
because
and that's what. See, he's
he's
someone-
such an interesting free agent because he's very, very good.
He's a great player that you could get for a decent.
He's
price.
a guy
Yeah, I
that
was
would be
talking
perfect
about
in
that.
Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Players like that.
That's a great thought.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
See, why do they get these guys from Harvard and MIT?
We can do it.
could solve
I
these
know.
teams. I'm
He
telling
doesn't
you.
Dude,
cost
I
a
would
lot of
fix
money.
the Browns in 2
No,
years.
no,
No, we're talking baseball. Nobody can fix the Browns.
Nobody
okay?
can
Yes, you
fix the
can.
Cleveland Browns.
I've prayed to God,
Take
and God can't even do it.
Yeah.
God tried
you're
getting
right.
Tim Tebow there, and Tim Tebow's like, God, I can't do this for you. I can't do
oh
it,
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah. I want to try. 'Cause whatever. Anyway, yeah, Miami, we could fix them.
We could.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I think they're going to end up doing a very good job. The Jeter organization.
I do too.
I do too.
I mean, I already kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I
you got a
don't
clear house.
completely agree with the Stanton move.
But that's a
But
lot
they're-
of
they're
cap
looking-
space. That's
they're
a
looking
lot.
for the
I love
future.
I
Yeah.
love it. You know why? Because this is what Derek Jeter understands, is that no $100 million player will win you a World Series.
Yeah, true.
Not one.
No.
Not Clayton Kershaw hasn't done it for the Dodgers.
Actually, when you look
But then
at
again,
it,
though, that
teams
$100
that
million.
win-
Wait, that $100 million is going to be supplemented with Christian Yelich, D. Gordon, or Ozuna. No one even talks about Marcell Ozuna. He hit like
No.
320 with 35 home runs. No one talks about him. I think he's probably the most underrated player in baseball.
Ozuna?
Yeah. He gets no notoriety because of Yelich and Stanton.
I think Arenado is the most
Arenado has
disrespected.
Blackman.
I
gotta
say
go with
Blackman. I say Blackman
No one
over
even
Arenado.
knows who he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's that homeless guy in
Charlie.
center field.
Yeah.
He's the homeless guy in center field.
Yeah.
He's the caveman off of the Geico
You're
commercials.
like,
Charlie.
oh, who's this guy?
Oh, my dad, Blackman. I like Charlie Blackman. He's a gutsy player.
Does it all.
The statistics last year just off the charts. But
Yeah.
again, that Rockies team is starting to fall apart. I don't know if you really know how much is. I mean, they're losing a lot of pitching.
That's true, but they're also going to re-sign Holland to a huge deal, which that makes sense. He's a great closer.
Great, but are
Yeah.
you still a couple pieces away in the lineup that money could go to?
You have a
I
closer,
think the
but you
lineup
can't
is
get
solid.
to
I
him.
think the pitching.
You think?
All right, let's
I
go
think
through
the
their
lineup-
lineup.
Cargo,
pretty good.
Cargo's on the free agent market too.
Okay,
so
then you have Ian Desmond, which is fine. Cargo had his worst year last year, but I think he'll bounce back. You go through their lineup. They have Mark Reynolds, who hit 30 home runs. He's perfect
Mark
in that.
Reynolds,
He's
I've
perfect
seen him
in that
suck
stadium.
So much.
He's perfect in that stadium.
Yeah.
You know it. Second base, DJ LeMahieu hits 330 almost every freaking year. Shortstop, Trevor Story, who's progressing
I think he's
nicely.
going to develop. He's the next tool,
Yep.
though, obviously.
Arenado, arguably the best third baseman in the league. You go to left field, Parra hit 306 or something like that. Great year. Blackman's unbelievable in center, and then you put Ian Desmond in right field, and you have yourself a great lineup.
Then that's fantastic, and I think that's a great lineup in the AL Central. In the NL West, you play in a division that has Zach Greinke,
That's true.
Shelby Miller,
But they shelled that guy.
Clayton Kershaw.
They shelled all of those guys.
That's fine.
That's
they
that
have no
division.
pitch.
I
They
get that, but
shell
you
them,
gotta
except for Kershaw and the Dodgers.
You're talking about half of your schedule is right there,
Yeah.
and that's tough.
Yeah.
Especially when the Diamondbacks are no slouch. They're gonna fall off. They're gonna be fighting the Padres for who doesn't get fifth next year.
If they got to re-sign Martinez, though.
They're gonna lose out on that.
I think so, too. Which is sad because he fits so well there.
There's a few teams that you look at and you're like, they're good now. They can't keep these players. They never do.
Like
ever.
Boston. Boston cannot keep that outfield. There's
They-
no way.
No.
Oh, Benintendi and the
But
whole crew.
Boston
I think they can.
bounces back.
Well, then you got to give up Bogarts. And then you got to give up Chris Sale or David Price.
Okay,
You're not keeping
David
the same
Price.
level.
Wow, that hurts. David Price.
David Price was great out of the bullpen in the postseason. You can't tell me any different.
He was
Fantastic,
great
he was.
Yeah.
a few
But he's not a
years
good.
ago.
He's not a number 2 anymore.
No.
He gives me
exactly.
headaches in the postseason.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna skip the World Series scenarios
Oh,
for
come
next
on.
time.
San Francisco Giants.
Man.
Oh, all
I
right.
could see that.
Me too.
That's
But
it.
all right,
I don't
Eric.
know.
We'll
this
talk
is
about it.
Me?
This is your time, Eric. This
Oh,
is
my
another
time?
edition of Are You Kidding Me?
Man, I feel bad it's not baseball, but there's no baseball going on except these trade talks. And there's nothing really bad. So we're going to go back to the good old NFL. Seems like every week there's something embarrassing go on. Goodell has a target on Ezekiel's back, that whole drama. It's like a soap opera. And then you turn on the ESPN for some reason. I don't know why I was watching it. So, yeah, you see brawl breaks out, Broncos-Raiders game. You're like, oh, this is interesting. Let's see what happened. And Talib last year, Aqib Talib, cornerback for the Broncos, is defending Michael Crabtree, wide receiver for the Raiders. Last year, same scenario. Talib just
Nice little dust up.
nice. Yeah, he just decided to rip his chain off. No big deal. Probably cost him $3,000, but that's okay. Just rip it off. Talib's like, I'm the man. Apparently, that's how you show you're the man. You rip chains off. So
I've never met
Chain
a man
snatch.
that proves it that way.
No.
No.
Well, Talib, I don't know. He's from the hood. Maybe that's how you do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, you're in the NFL. You're
Yeah.
not on the west side of Youngstown.
Yeah.
I've
okay?
never seen
No
Marshawn
offense.
Lynch rip someone's gloves off and go, "These are mine now, brother."
No, he's just doing that so he doesn't get fined.
Oh
But,
I mean, no offense to the
anyway.
west side of Youngstown. I love all of Youngstown.
I love
We're from there,
Youngstown.
but you're in the NFL. You have kids looking up to you
Yeah.
that play like you.
I don't-
And now kids are going to start snatching
so
chains.
then anyway, this year, Talib's like, what's up, Crabtree? And Crabtree's like, what's up, Talib? It's a nice chain you got there. Snatches it. Brawl.
would be
Full-on
a
brawl.
shame if something happened to that chain, huh?
It'd be a shame if something happened. Let me just steal that because I can't buy my own.
And he
apparently.
ripped it off. He didn't just,
ripped it.
gently caress the back of his neck.
Like,
and,
what are you Are you kidding me? There it is.
uncling
Are
it.
you kidding me?
I'm
What are
t-
you trying to do?
I'm telling you what, and I know this is your "Are you kidding me?" speech
Yeah.
of the week, but if I'm an NFL GM right now and I'm scouting defensive backs, I'm scouting one that can play mind games now.
That's all
and
it is.
and that's
Look
all it
at
is
the
because
best
they don't let you
DBs in the
touch.
league.
They don't let you touch
Norman,
a wide receiver.
Sherman.
Talib.
I mean, Rivas did it with
Back
his
when
play a couple
he-
years ago.
Yeah, you're on
He
his
also
island.
talked. I mean, that's the NFL. You talk smack. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Why are you ripping a chain? Like, come on, Talib. Are you kidding me? I don't know.
Are
Why?
you kidding
Are
me?
you kidding me? Why would you do that?
Blown away. Just
Yeah.
blown away.
Now I'm
Talk
gonna
smack. Don't rip chains. That's all I got.
now I'm gonna have elementary kids snatching chains. Be
Yeah.
like, I'm Talib. You're Crabtree.
I don't know.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Thank
I don't
you.
like either of them.
Thank you, NFL football.
Yeah.
Appreciate
God
it.
bless the NFL.
oh
They
my
just love
God.
to start social problems.
Here, I'm
for
gonna
us.
say one thing. They need a new commissioner.
Yeah.
That,
Here we go,
I think-
solving the world's problems again. Maybe
just-
next week we can get on
It
and
seems
discover
so
how to solve
obvious.
world hunger. Because
We might as well because there's nothing going on.
'Cause on this talk,
Every
we've
week
just
we
solved the
talk about
Miami Marlins.
Stanton, the Japanese player. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
I think it's Ohtani. Whatever.
Ohtani, yeah.
they need to get us an English translation anyways.
They
Oh my
really do.
God.
You know what? Joke's
Yeah.
on us. It probably means I throw hard. That's probably
Means
what
I
that
throw
name
gas.
means. I throw gas.
Throws 103 with a nasty slider.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know.
How nasty will it be
Oh
when he
my
actually
gosh.
goes to Coors Field and throws it?
Yeah, we'll see.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see him because
Me
you
too.
you kept hearing about you and Masahiro Tanaka, and they get here and you're like, this is what we got.
Really.
It's like,
I was gonna say that. How they get here and they're good.
Like Dice K.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
They're not studs though. They're
Japanese baseball is
Jung
good
Ho Gung.
baseball.
Not, like, it's good baseball.
But it's
I
not
think
Major League
Here-
Baseball.
I mean, I know
Here's the
Jung Ho
one
Gung is from
player-
Korea, but he was good until he got arrested.
Here's the
and
one
sent
player
over.
that really lived up to the hype, and it was Ichiro.
Yep.
God bless him.
That's about it. That's all. They're all good. They can be all stars, but it's just something they don't build to
Yeah.
the level that some Dominicans though. They're the best.
Ichiro to this day,
Latin America and Puerto Rico, all that.
Ichiro to this day at 42 can go out and out hit Cody Bellinger
He's just
if
a
he
pure
chooses to.
hitter. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a guy.
And
that
it's
knows
sad
how to
because
hit.
he's old and decrepit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That just goes. That shows to me that your swing isn't about power. It's more about your mechanics. His mechanics are flawless, and just the practice.
if you just put the bat on the ball, I
That's-
mean, you see it.
That's a huge problem with the game. They try so many strikeouts because they try to hit bombs.
The
There's
strikeout
daddy
isn't
hack
even
in
frowned
02.
upon anymore.
It's not, and it should be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you get pitchers, they give up 5 runs a game with 11 strikeouts.
Yep.
Chris
That's-
Archer,
that's-
perfect example.
Yeah, but he has little to no defense, I don't think.
No,
I mean,
I'll-
now that they
I'll
got
agree with that.
Echeverria,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, Souza's pretty good.
I would love to see him.
Kiermaier was hurt.
I'd love to see him on a good team, but to me right now, he's a guy gets a lot of strikeouts, and David Price was kind of the same way. He
Yeah.
gives up 3 runs a game, 3 to 4, a lot of strikeouts.
And you know what's sad about Chris Archer though is nobody's talking about him because his numbers and things that he's doing right now, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from a starting pitcher in today's game is not what it used to be.
No,
It's
Justin-
because his average attendance at his games are 3,000 people.
that too. Dude, they gotta move.
Hello,
I'm sorry.
Montreal Rays.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not happening.
it's not the Rays.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'd have
I know.
the Ukes,
Maybe.
the Yukons.
Hey, they just renovated
Something.
Olympic Stadium. Watch out
Yeah.
for that. They could make a run
I
at this
mean-
franchise, which that would be
Are
cool
you
to
talking
see.
about in Canada?
Yeah.
Montreal is in Canada, Coop.
Well, I
Where'd you
understand
take
that.
that?
But you really
I don't
think,
know. I'm from Clyde, Ohio. I thought it
Hey,
was.
y'all.
I don't know.
hey, y'all, you mean to tell me they're going to take them north of the border?
Listen, if it ain't in the USA, I don't know it.
I don't think Evan Longoria is too crazy. But seriously, how disappointing would that be if you're the Tampa Bay Rays? And I know we're getting kind of long in this, but how crazy would it be if you're a Tampa Bay Rays player and they take you off the beach in Tampa and they go, hey, guys, I just want to let you know,
Well,
we're going to Montreal.
Here's the thing.
Where the beer flows freely and the women are below average.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, we suck and the women suck now, too. Great. This is the team I want to be on.
Hey, I got a lot of Canadian followers on Twitter. You can't even say that.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you're the only Blue Jays fan in Ohio.
That is no. I know a lot of Blue Jays fans in Ohio because they all immigrated.
Yeah, exactly.
How I
from
became a
Canada.
Blue Jays fan is a story for another day. This is about all the time we have.
Well, it's a frozen off season, so
That is true.
we got some time next week. Next week, Eric and I are going to solve world hunger, though. We've
Great.
solved the Marlins.
Tune into that. Thank you for listening. As always,
Are you
like,
kidding me?
subscribe. Thank you, Eric. Like, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter.
Follow
Coop
us,
will have to
stalk
add.
us. You could stalk us, follow us, do
Hey,
whatever you want.
We'll have
Don't
one
put a
more.
camera in my room.
Yeah, great. We'll have we'll have one more episode coming out before winter break. Sorry we can't do 2 this week. Finals are coming up. Schedules are
Yeah.
getting busy.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you back in January after this next week. So stay locked in. Like I said, follow us on Twitter, like, subscribe. Any closing comments, boys?
Save
Go
a horse.
Tribe.
Save a horse.
Ride a cowboy.
Ride a cowboy.
There you go.
Good luck, week.
Coop, you're not the cowboy they're talking about in that song. No offense.
Yeehaw, boys.
Oh, my God. We'll close on that.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thank you for listening.